What's up, everyone? This is AML, and you are tuned into the Hidden Gems podcast. You're going to learn a bit of my story here. I'm welcoming you to my journey. Stay tuned, listen in, let's go. My name is Amanda Leone. For those of you who might be new here or are tuning in and don't know me, my artist name is AML. And yeah, that's my name. That's what I go by both. We feeling out the vibes, but I love me at AML. But I love connecting back to who I am, which is Amanda M. Leone, at Amanda M. Leone. So yes, that's my name.
So what do you do?
Where do we begin? Because I do a lot of different things, but I mean, ultimately, I'm a human being first and foremost, right? A human being pursuing their passions, and whatever way that happens, I call myself an artist because when I think of an artist, I think of someone who's a creative and just expresses themselves through the different arts. I don't want to limit that. So examples of that can be I am a singer, I am a songwriter, I am a recording artist, right? I am a dancer, a model, I am a performer, I love me my musical theater. The list can continue, but
just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'm a vocal coach, a piano coach, a life coach, I feel. A little bit of everything. I love to do it all. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a influencer, social media influencer, and yeah.
What aren't you? That's a better question.
OMG.
Tougher question.
What aren't I? I am not a mechanic.
Okay.
And I can say that because though I am learning the life of a car, it is definitely not something in my specialty, though I wish it was. So shout out to the mechanics of the world because it would save me a lot of headaches with my car.
Right.
Yeah, so that was my first thought. I'm not a mechanic.
We all would like to be a little bit more mechanical.
Yes,
in that
definitely.
regard.
That knowledge is power.
Where are you from?
So I'm from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Shout out to Amboy because I always rep it. I'm a Jersey artist. But yeah, I'm from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. If we want to go further, I am Puerto Rican. Bori Bori, shout out to it. Okay. And yeah, that's where I'm from.
What's your Zodiac sign?
I love that one because I am a Pisces and a very proud Pisces at that because it's just, they say it's the 12th sign and it comes with a lot of like just being able to connect to all the other signs because of that. And I genuinely resonate with that because I feel like I'm a big people person. And so like, I'm still learning about like what do the signs mean and this and that and all of that. But like anything I've ever read of Pisces, I'm like, yes, I'm totally a Pisces. And the most awoken version of one I would like to align myself with. But yes.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Very dreamy, very just like loving, outgoing or so I connect with. But loves the water. So this is beautiful because I'm a water sign, very emotional. If you will. I'm very, very passionate, right? So I like to say that I am emotional, and that's a good thing, right? So yeah,
it's not a bad thing,
right?
Let me ask you this: what movie influenced you? Just give me one. Any movie that influenced you, either negatively or positively, to just who you are as a person, something that like really resonated with you.
Yeah.
And also, can you unlock your phone?
Absolutely. I have no problem doing that for you. And here you go.
Thank you.
So what movie has influenced me? Well, immediately the first movie that comes to my mind is Grease. You know Grease?
Of course.
Exactly. You better know Grease. The first movie that comes to mind is Grease. Like, ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved Grease. I feel like it's one of those, like, core memories of mine. Like, I even had, like, a Grease birthday when I was, like, 4 or 5, something around those lines.
Right.
Shout out to my parents. It was, like, the whole theme of, like, oh my gosh, don't quote me. The 50s, right?
Okay.
Greece. Decades. But so Greece definitely, it's a musical, and I love musicals, and I also feel like my love for music also was like rooted in that. It's always been my fave. I love like all of the songs and just the characters, and also the flip of like that female energy at the end just coming in baddie, Sandra D. So yeah, I love that movie. I could go on forever on that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can see the representation and like where you sort of would get that from.
I love that. I love that.
Are you an introverted person or an extroverted person?
I feel like I'm an extroverted person.
Yeah, I feel like that too.
Yeah, for me?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I would say I'm more of maybe an introverted person.
Okay.
Maybe a little introverted person, which is weird because I enjoy talking to people, but
right.
Maybe not a group of people. So there's that.
And it also doesn't mean that you don't like talking to people,
Right?
right? So, yeah, I would say I'm an extrovert. Don't get me wrong, when I was younger, I was definitely more shy, and so I find it so funny because, like, for example, if it's like someone who hasn't seen me in a really long time, or like since I was that age, they're like, oh my gosh, like, wow, you're so talkative and this and that now. So I definitely was shy, but you're young and you grow, but I've always feel like I've been more extroverted. I love talking to people. I love connecting. I am not afraid to be in the spotlight. In fact, I feel most alive in those moments. So I love just like being able to connect to, you said, like, I do enjoy being in a big group of people. I'll be the hype girl. Like, I don't care. Like, I love it all. It's a good time. I just like to be that type of person. And so, yeah, I would say that typically that would be more aligns with extroverted.
Right. Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay, so
much.
spot on. But don't get me wrong, I love my me time. Like, I love my me time. I love to like protect my peace, and there has to be a healthy balance, right? So, especially if I'm like being super extroverted for a long time, then I'm like, okay, like I need this day to just like just be here with me, So it does come with balance, but
I would attest that to like your social battery in a sense, like you charge up your social battery, then you talk to people, you experience people, and over time
so true.
it's going to wear out, and then you need to recharge, so you might need to be by yourself for a while, let that recharge before you could, so you might hang out with your friends for a couple days, and then the next day they're going to be like, yo, where you at? And you're like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm just chilling,
Love
you
you
might
guys,
ghost them,
but today I need a me day.
Right.
But no, definitely social battery, and I would say that I'm a empath, and so like finding a healthy balance between being an empath, because what that means is like you just like you could read people's energy, or like sometimes you could reflect that, or right, you could absorb that.
Right.
So it comes to finding that healthy balance of like like I said, I'm a big people person, so I love connection, but sometimes that's not always easy, right? So we're human beings. The only feeling is not just happy, so it's just like finding that balance. If it's a lot of people with a lot of different energies, a lot of different happenings, like I definitely could feel that energetically, but finding that healthy balance.
All right, so these next few questions I'm gonna ask you, I just want you to hit me with 1 or 2 words.
Ooh, okay.
So
I would try my best.
Favorite fruit?
Mangoes.
Okay.
Mango.
Mango?
Mango.
Mango, okay. A more realistic apocalyptic scenario, zombie apocalypse or an alien apocalypse?
That is a toughie, but I'm going to say zombies.
Zombies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alien is realistic. I mean, but they're probably out there right now. They haven't done anything yet, so let's just keep knocking on wood. Zombies, humans, we're crazy. Who knows what's going to happen?
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Right, me either,
Definitely
please. Either or, we don't want either of them.
No, not at all. When are you at your best?
1 or 2 words?
Or let's narrow it down to something that you're doing.
Right.
when you're doing blank, you're at
Yeah.
your best?
When I'm praying, when I'm reading, when I'm aligning with my true self. That's when I'm at my best.
Okay. If you had to lose one of your limbs, one of your arms or one of your legs, which one would you choose?
Oh my gosh. I guess I'd have to just like let my right arm go. I'm a lefty, fun fact. Are you a lefty?
Lefties.
Yes!
Lefties.
Love that.
You know, when I had that
Lefty
question,
power.
when I had that question, I was like, she's probably gonna say like her left arm because I would assume that you're ready, but wow, look at that.
I switched it up on you. I am a lefty.
You leveled up in my head.
Period.
You gained like 3
Level
more
up.
points. You're a
Next
lefty.
level. We going up.
Exactly.
That's what it's about.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Are you a morning shower person or a night shower person?
I'm a night shower person, but like I love me a good morning refresher. But I'm a night.
Okay. Okay. The worst song you could think of to get beat up to? Like, if I don't know.
Oh my God, it just got one and I'm terrified in my brain.
Like if somebody ran up on you and they had a problem with you
my
and
God.
got into an altercation, they were stomping you out. Just imagine you're getting stomped out on the floor. And,
Okay.
and this song is playing.
I got it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, the song of choice, the worst song to get beat up to is that creepy freaking song. Oh my God. Tiptoe through the window.
Oh, man.
You know that song?
Yeah, I know that song.
I'm cracking up because like the song is just funny, but like you know that be in like scary movies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
I've heard it.
That like that's just the first song that came into my head
Damn, I
because
didn't
I
think of
think I'd
that.
go through like the most traumatizing. I mean, getting beat up, not on my bucket list, but that song would be quite the scary experience.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't wish that for you.
Thank you. We're not manifesting that one.
Yeah, no. Let's not manifest that. Let's not put that out there. But yeah, Hidden Gems podcast.
Yes.
Amanda.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I feel like I was able to take my time with my day and have the day that I needed to prepare me to be here energetically, right? Spiritually, emotionally, whatever. But I feel good. I'm glad that I'm here and I'm honored to be here.
I'm honored to have you. You know, as my initial guest on this podcast. I'm hoping that you can set a great tone and you know, give us a lot of insightful wisdom. Yeah, I'm hoping that you know you could be somebody who you know people can take something away from.
Definitely. I would love to be that, and I'm glad to have this opportunity and to share this first with you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And yeah, let's do this.
So the music video, Silvana.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did that come about?
Yeah. So that's an awesome opportunity that came across my way. Like I said before, like when you are in a place of alignment, I genuinely feel like things will come your way that are meant to be happening, right, for you in those moments. And I could say that that was one of those things. I am an artist myself, and I also love collaborating with other artists, especially up and coming, my friends, etc. Because yes, I am on this journey of my own, but especially because of that, I respect people who are doing this 10 times more, because the hustle, the grind, the passion, the commitment is real. And so I love to support other artists in their journeys. And so with that being said, Firstly, if you go to my YouTube page, Amanda Emily Own, AML, you will see in my playlist that there is a featuring AML playlist, and there you will find an abundance, well, and more to come, of videos that I got to be a part of bringing to reality, bringing a vision to life. And so this one in particular is an artist named Robert, and he is from New York. I was connected to him through one of my good friends. Her name is Susan Ramirez, and she is a choreographer. And so she and I have collaborated a lot through the dance world, which has been so much fun because I love dancing. Like, I just love expressing myself and being free and moving my body to the music. And I never took like dance classes actually when I was younger. It was just something that I grew to love and learn and feel, and it's in my culture, right? So just embracing and like getting out of my head and my body, just like getting comfortable with this. So Susan's been someone who I've gotten to work with in that regard, and she's also assisted me in that journey of finding that fluidity and getting out of my head and just like being with the music. And I love doing that with other people because we get to cheer each other on in that process. So again, bringing it back, Susan reached out to me because this artist, Robert Castano, he reached out to her about wanting to do a music video that incorporated dance, something that was new for him that he wanted to spotlight. And so she reached out to me as they were looking for a dancer to be a part of this video. And as I said, I'm always down to support my fellow artists. And so it sounded like it would be a fun opportunity. I love working with Susan, and so I was all about it. And so we actually had one rehearsal where we met up, the three of us in New York, and we vibed. We learned the choreography, we practiced it. We went home for maybe it was a week or so, and then we came back the day of the shoot. So it was like one rehearsal and then like one shoot. And that day we just like got ready, did our thing, and just like dove in, and it was so much fun. Like, we were just like dancing, took a bunch of different takes, different angles. You know how it is, freestyle. I got to explore like my freestyle, and it was at this Studio One in Brooklyn, which was a really nice space and left room for a lot of creativity. So yeah, that's how that began. Maybe a month or two rather was it. The video just came out this month, so it is a new release. And hey, shout out to the viewers because it's going up and we love that. So I'm glad I got to be a part of it. It was so fun, like Spotlight Dancer, here we are. Yes.
yeah, that video just came out. Yeah, definitely doing numbers. Definitely go check that video out.
Yes, check it out on YouTube. You look up Silvana, Robert Castano, and you will see it.
Yeah, I watched it 2 times. I watched it back to back. And literally the one thing that I noticed, I mean, there's a lot, but the one thing that I really stood out to me was that, you know, more than anything, like, you're really a dancer. You know, you do a lot of things, as you mentioned, and you definitely sing, and we'll get to that. But you're a dancer. I feel like at your core, you know, when I asked you, when do you feel like you're at your best? For me, as an outsider, I would say when you're dancing, you seem like you're really just in like a outer body experience. Like, you're really just living like a true experience. Like, you're not thinking, you're not hesitating, you're not worried about what people are going to say or how people are going to view you. You're just out there just expressing yourself. And I love when I can see when somebody's able to, you know, use their passion and like push it outward and give it to the world. And I wanted to ask you, where do you get the confidence to just dance and just try moves? Because it's the opposite of me. I'm not a dancer on that level. I mean, I could do a little 2-step.
Yeah, you hold it down if you study beat, right?
Yeah, you know, I could do that, but I've never been the type to like just really dance the way you dance and move the way you move. So like, where did you get the confidence to really and hone in on that? And was you trained, or is everything just mostly freestyle? Like, did you make up your stuff, or
the artist
did you
dancer
learn?
journey? Okay, so if we bring it all the way back, like where does dance in my life come from? And thank you so much for that, because that genuinely like warms my heart, because dance has definitely like been such a beautiful, healthy outlet for me on my journey.
Right.
But to bring it back, my father actually was a break dancer in his youth in New York, which is super dope, and I always love to hear that. And I genuinely feel like it is in my blood. Like, I feel like it's taken my self-discovery, because I did not take dance classes, but I was in gymnastics when I was younger, which I feel like got me into that like movement, right? And
Definitely.
and floor routines incorporates dance movement elements. So I was in gymnastics when I was younger, and then I did cheerleading, which is also a lot of like choreographed routine. I did that in high school.
Right.
I also was in like the musicals, so musical theater, I was able to explore dance. And it's so funny when you say like you see this confidence, because I think back to like baby Amanda in middle school, when like, oh my gosh, my friends would laugh because they can think of this too. Shout out VIP Lounge. In middle school, like I did this summer program, and anytime someone says, it's like, oh, I give myself a hug for little Amanda, because there was this one rehearsal we had of this musical we were doing over the summer, and the dance choreographer at the time, his name is Jonathan, he was like drilling us on like facials and like giving that personality, and I'm like a little girl, like, oh, like so derpy. So it's so beautiful to just credit that journey. I definitely would say college is where I started to develop that confidence, because when I was in college, this actually connects to vocals as well, but in college, it was just a very different experience for me that I was not used to, and very strenuous on my body, and my voice is connected to my health, and that a lot of times my voice would be held back. And so in times when that was happening, which is its own story of its own, but like to connect it to dance, when times that was happening, I found that like dance really became that healthy connection to music for me, because I was able to just like learn how to express myself in the way that I express my music vocally. Like this way I was able to express myself through dance, through movement, and it didn't involve my voice at that time. So it kind of gave me a voice through dance, right? And through movement and expression. And so
not to cut you off.
Yeah, you're good.
I was gonna say that.
Go ahead.
You triggered that thought that like when watching you dance, it almost seems like you don't even need to necessarily sing, because it feels like even in the music video, you don't have a singing part. I don't think you do.
Not in that one.
But
see what happens next, right?
Watching the video and watching you move, it's almost like you do have a voice, within the song.
Thank you.
But like your presence is very strong when you're, in your element, so to speak. So
I love that. I love that so much. I could definitely say like I love getting in front of a camera. I love being on a stage. The stage is what really taught me that confidence, or like that feeling of, like you said, like when I'm on stage, it feels like this is like total surrender. Like,
when was your first time being on stage?
Ooh, my first time.
Not literally a stage, but when was your first time you felt like
that moment
you performed in front of people?
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That I have that special moment in mind, and it just always jumps right to the front. When I was a senior in high school, Pertamboy High School, I played Daniela in The Heights, the musical.
Okay.
So in The Heights, Daniela was my role, and that, what a beautiful pinpoint, definitely got me into who I am today, because like that was my first opportunity to explore a character where in high school I was more like, a good, soft, sweet person, kind heart, which I am. But that role, like, she's very sassy, and she talks a lot of gossip, and so that's the role. She's like very proud Hispanic woman, and so I got to like tap into what that is and learned so much about myself through doing that. And so that moment for me like was definitely the song called Carnaval de Barrio, where at the very end I was like, hey, and I throw my hands up and I'm on stage with my crew, and like the lights are on us, and like I just remember, like, I could close my eyes right now and I feel it. Like, the audience was booming, booming. Like, I'm telling you, that song is Carnaval de Barrio. People had their flags up, waving it with us. And that song is all about, like, pride and embracing your culture, right? So that song is just magical in itself. But that moment felt like the greatest, like, most pure exchange of just energy and frequency. And I remember it to this day, like, just having my hands up, those lights on me, and, like, just taking that moment of feeling that. And that's definitely a chasing moment. So yeah, that definitely brought my confidence out and led me into college, right? Because that was my senior year.
Right.
So in college, I did dancing through my sorority. I did dancing through this Latin dance team I was on. And so I started to really explore movement and just doing that. And post-grad, I was like, whoa, this is something that I need to continue because I love it so much. And so I connected with different friends of mine who are dancers too, and we would work on different projects together, and whether they were posted or not, they were a great experience. And then I started doing these music videos, helping my fellow artist friends and getting an opportunity for myself as well, right, to share that side of me. And yeah, it's all been a learning journey. And so I love that you're saying that you felt that, like, I had that presence and that confidence, and that was all there, because, like, it's just beautiful to hear that I do that, like, I really do. And it was not always there. I had to learn, it's a journey. So just now I'm at this point in my life where I feel very sure of myself, and I feel sure of what I'm doing, and just believing in it. And because I have that self-belief, it gives me that confidence that I could be in front of a camera and just, like, give it.
And literally, in my opinion, that's the most easily identifiable thing that you can see in somebody.
What?
When somebody's performing, it's subjective whether the performance is actually good or not. Or whether you like, everybody can have their opinion, like, oh, I didn't,
Of course.
we're talking about dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like she didn't, she missed that move, or she could have did this, or music, oh, they didn't hit that note correctly, or whatever the case is. But the one thing is the energy, the confidence that somebody exudes. Like, confidence obviously can take you a long way, but I feel like, you have that. I don't know, you claim that you had to grow into that, and, I don't know, I see confidence and I'm like, I could see when people have it. And I feel like you're somebody who could perform, I'll put it this way, I feel like you're somebody who could perform in front of a group of 20 people who are on their phone, not paying attention, and you would give the same performance as if you're performing in front of, 300 people, and they're all fully engaged and cheering.
I hear you.
And I feel like you that's the energy that that you need to, especially with dancing. I don't know, for me personally, I'm just like, dancing is such like a vulnerable thing. And,
it is. It is. Especially if, like, you haven't taken dance classes or stuff like that, you talked about before, like, maybe technical stuff, right? Or, like, particular movements that are, like, true to a certain form of dance, right? I feel like the biggest thing that has helped me in dance, because it is very vulnerable, and sometimes, it is very easy to get in your head. I've had moments of this where in rehearsal, like, I show up to a rehearsal and, like, we're human. Sometimes we compare ourselves, or, like, sometimes we self-doubt, right? And we have to just remind ourselves that, like, hold on, like, I get this opportunity to dance and, like, create. And so it's just letting yourself get out of your head, because it's easy to get in your head. But the biggest thing that has helped me is when, if I know I need to dance for something, for example, the Silvana music video, before we were, like, recording it, at first I'm like, all right, I gotta get loose. Like, just in my head, I'm like, naturally, right, my head wants to be like, should I dance this a certain way? If I'm gonna do a freestyle, what type of style should I go for? But I'm like, hold on, like, let me pause, let me get out of my head. I am talented, I am gifted, I am given this opportunity. Let me get out of my head and just feel the music, and whatever that comes out to be is what it comes out to be. So just getting out of your head and having fun with the moment. And then what? I just start moving and I'm having fun, and then now the choreography it's just happening.
Right.
And it's happening maybe even through me, right? In a lot of those moments. And yeah, so that in terms of like dancing, it's definitely like get out of your head. And that goes for singing as well, because I've had performances, you mentioned, like in front of like a small group or a big group, right? I've had experience with both in different numbers, right? And I definitely feel like it doesn't even matter how many people are there, like in that regard, because I'm always going to give my all, because this is my opportunity to connect with other human beings, whether it's one, whether it's however many, right, limitlessly however many. Like I get this opportunity to be up here and step into that role, and like yeah, I mean, I definitely want to inspire other people to feel like they can do that within themselves too. Like it's easier than we make it be, I feel like, because we're human beings, and honestly we're just here to live and be ourselves and to move in love. And when you do that, it comes through. And so that definitely transfers to music and dancing and singing. When you are in a space of love and you're there being genuine and it's very vulnerable, but you get to share your heart and connect to people and inspire them through that happening, or through a visual that comes along the way, like wow, what an opportunity. I feel so blessed, right? So that's the things that I tell myself as I go through this journey.
Right. And so what came first, the dancing or the singing?
Well, my gosh, I mean, technically, it would be dancing, singing. Okay, let me bring me back to like my youth. Karaoke, singing. My dad loves him a karaoke machine, so I would sing with him and my mom all the time. Speaking of Grease, that was like our go-to. We would always sing the Grease songs.
Right.
So yeah, I loved singing on the microphone. When I was in elementary school, I was always like wanting to do girl group bands with like my friends. Like, oh, let's do a girl group, right? Like I love that. But I was actually in gymnastics really young, and so I would feel like since I was 3 years old, and we would do like at my elementary school gymnastics shows and stuff, and that's very like, haha, confidence. That was all about putting on a performance in a show, and I had no problem stepping into that in my youth.
Right.
So maybe it was the middle school years, huh? Middle school really be like, but yeah, like stepping into that role, and gymnastics is very movement, and so I guess it's hard. They kind of both happened along the same way. So, yeah, I would say both. It's hard to pick which one first. Guess you gotta ask my parents on that one.
Okay, so what type of singers, I guess, inspire you? Better question, whose voices do you really love?
I love that question. So if we did it back, like one of my OGs, right, I would say Alicia Keys.
Okay.
I love that woman. She is such an overall inspiration in so many different ways. Like you could just feel the type of human being that she is. I love that she just embraces her natural true self, and that's what she talks about all the time. You hear that in her music too. My mom always listened to Alicia Keys, so like that was definitely an artist that I grew up listening to amongst the others, right? But definitely one that even into my middle school, like she has this one album, and it's totally blanking right now, but it has a butterfly on the front. And like I just remember streaming that album, like all the songs, like singing them all the time. So she's definitely a soul artist that I feel connected to. That in her voice, I love how she's just very raw and just like belts it out, and like it's just like so beautiful. I could talk about her for days, but she's definitely one of them. Another one I would say, for thinking like the voice, like what do I like to hear and like maybe resonate within my own, go through them as quick as I can because I love them all.
Right.
I could say, well, I love my Ariana Grande. I have to start there because Ariana Grande is a vocal queen. Like her range is phenomenal. I love her swag, her style, her flow. I definitely can say when I write a lot of songs, like I hear her influence in them. So that's pretty cool. I love her harmony stacks and all of the above. Like she's just, especially in high school, someone that I was streaming all the time and was like, oh my gosh, Ariana, like love her. So I could say her. Another one, Rihanna. I love my girl Riri, and I pray for the day that she puts out more music. Like, come on, Rihanna, we love you, but you know, do your thing. You got your baby.
Everybody's praying for that.
Oh my gosh, she's teasing us. But love Rihanna. I love how gritty and raw. I love her reggae flow. Like, she's just got a swag on another level, and I love that about her. Like, I also love that I feel like it's like she's just got that boss energy. Like, she talk about confidence, like she comes through with that. And so I love that about her, and like just how, again, she just like belts it out and just like lets her voice out. She's got some songs that it's not about perfection, it's about the emotion coming across, and I love that. I love that she shows that. So yeah, some other artists real quick, I would say love me, my Bruno Mars. Love me, my Justin Bieber. Love me, my Tinashe. She's like super newer in my like, wow, I totally respect her artistry. I actually went to Made in America last summer, and she performs. It was Made in America. I went and she performs, and like we walked into her set, and I was like, I didn't really know her music like that before then, but after that I was like, oh, I'm a fan. Like, I love it. I like saw myself through her. So
shout out to
yes,
Tinashe.
shout out to Tinashe. You are inspiring. And I actually just put her on my story today, so that's funny. But yeah, Tinashe and Doja Cat. Oh my gosh, what is it about her? She's just so like literally out of this world. And I love how she's just like herself, and she definitely's got that swag. Like I love how she balances singing and rapping. I think that's so sick. And yeah, big influences right now.
Let me just stop you right there. I feel like, Doja Cat in particular is somebody who I think is extremely talented. Listen, I think
and she a dancer too. She
dances. She does everything. She does everything.
Love that.
And you know, I don't have no whack people on here, so you know everybody who's on here is extremely talented. So you know, I feel like I have a sense of, you know, just people who are extremely talented, whether they have the criteria, credentials to match, to go along with their talent. The talent is what really like draws me, because like somebody like Doja Cat, I feel like she has the whole package, like you know, and I love seeing people, like I could admire people who just can do everything at a high level at that. So
that right there you pinned so much, because like that's what I aspire of a sort to be, right? Like, I want to be a well-rounded artist. I want to be able to do all different things. I want to be able to express myself in the way that is fitting, right? So from singing to dancing to modeling to performing on stage to being in a music video to wherever else that can go, right? Like, I just love to do it all. And so exactly, like, for me, it's that matter of like, I respect that in her. Like, she's really doing her thing. And like, especially with our generation, like she popping. I love her. I think she's just setting a great example. And talking of Doja, I'm actually working on a project inspired by her currently. And I just love how it has helped me to explore different flows in myself as an artist. We'll keep it at that.
So let's get into that though. Let's get into the singing a little bit. So
let's go.
What are you what is things that you're proud of that you've done musically so far, and then what do you aspire to do going forward?
So as a singer, this puppy, he's so cute. I'm sorry, I told you I love dogs. So cute. Oh boy, don't tell me that.
We got the doggies.
I love it. Yeah. We might need a commercial break before we jump into that part.
We got the dogs coming.
But keep that question right there. Should I go say hi?
I mean, that's fine.
Oh.
Just don't jump.
They're what's it called?
She's my jumper. She gets so excited. So
Hi.
I won't let her jump.
Hi, baby. Oh, hello. Oh, you're so cute. It's so nice to meet you.
What are you working on going forward, and what have you, you know, what are you proud of that you've done singing-wise?
So let's go into my vocal journey. I've always loved singing. It's always been something that was just a passion of mine. I sang in choirs with my friends, and that really helped me to find my voice. Shout out to VIP Lounge, Perth Amboy High School choirs and all that and the above. They've helped me to find my voice, and so again, bringing it back to karaoke, all of that, it's just always been something I loved. So I went to college and I was taking vocal lessons, and that was a whole other experience because now I'm learning how to properly use my voice in a healthy way. Right. And you know, for me, singing was always a self-expression. So I did have a bit of a challenge with like finding the balance between using technique but also embracing my voice. And vulnerably I can share that like at points I felt like I lost my voice, and that was very challenging for me because that's my baby. And so like when I talk about vulnerable, literally can make me cry because like I feel most vulnerable when I'm singing. And so when I graduated, I always knew that artistry, being a music artist, all of that was something very important to me that I felt like was always in my heart since I was young. And so after I graduated, I started my self-discovery again of my voice, like finding my way back to my voice and exploring it even more so at this new part of my life and who I am, etc. And so I would say when I graduated 2019, something I am proud about is that I like broke back out of my comfort zone. When I was in high school, I used to do a lot of YouTube videos.
Okay.
So yeah, I would do singing YouTube videos, and then
yeah, seeing some of them. I watched.
Shout out to Baby Cell for that. Like
you watched the. You had a one cover to a Rihanna song.
Yes, yes, that's one of my more recent releases of last year actually. Right. Yeah, so I did YouTube videos, and then after I graduated college in 2019, I got myself back into that. So I did a song called Body by, oh my gosh, please, if I say this wrong, I'm so sorry. Sinead, I always confuse it. Sinead Harnett. My gosh, Sinead Harnett. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. My girl, I love her music. She's got a phenomenal voice. I wanted to
shout out to her. Let's get to a clip.
Shout out to you. You were awesome. Listen to Body. That's a fire song. So yeah, that was my first cover, like stepping back into my artistry. I wanted to do a song that I felt was vocally challenging. As I said, I was refining my voice, so I wanted to challenge myself. It's more like R&B, like sensual vibes, and I just loved the song. Like I loved how playing with the expression of it felt. One of my best friends, Vanessa Jimenez, she actually like sat by my side. Big shout out to her. That's my sister for life. She like sat with me, and I literally with my USB microphone plugged into my computer in my house, got on the mic, and like we went through it, and she was like helping me to just like with that expression and coming across. Now I was coming from classically trained singing, right? To going into more pop R&B flow. So that does take, it's a flip. It's different. It's very different. And so when I was in college, I was singing all classical songs. I'm saying Italian, French, like operatic, right, type of songs and arias and such. So yeah, bringing it back now, I'm like, okay, well now I get to sing songs that I love, right? So that was one of my first ones, and I actually like recorded a whole music video like in my room, like made it myself. Like I just like, let's go for it, right? So I am proud of myself for that one. And I've done a couple since, and one of the ones I'm really most proud of is, as you said, I did a cover to Rihanna's Love on the Brain. Now I did mention preface, right? Like Rihanna's one of my like artists, like top artists. I love her music, and so that song I chose because I just love how raw it is, and it's very like, it's an emotional, intense, and vulnerable song, right? And so getting to explore expressing that in my own voice, I feel like it empowered my voice a lot too.
Right.
So I did a vocal recording of that again on my USB microphone plugged in at home in my room, and then I did a music video for that. So I did a song release. It's on Apple, Spotify. You can look up AML Love on the Brain. That is how you will find me on those platforms first and foremost.
They'll get all the
gotta
links.
throw that.
Links will be below. They'll get it.
Definitely. But I also did a music video, and so that was so much fun to do an interpretation of a visual concepts, and it was me in front of the camera.
Right.
I even showed some of my equipment to show like this. I do this at home. Like this is what I'm doing, right? Like if I could do that, you could do that too. To be honest, like
that's what it's all about. Not
Yeah.
to cut you off, but I think
Nah, you're
that's
good.
what that's an important thing. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize you can literally whatever you're trying to do, just get started.
Yeah.
You can just do it.
Just
like
do
You're
it.
saying
Literally.
you wasn't in a studio recording that. You just USB mic.
Yeah.
At the crib, just recording, and like you was able to put it out, and feel accomplished doing that, and like you don't need to like literally have a huge production to do things. And I feel like a lot of people use that as a crutch. They don't want to get started doing what they want to do, or they want to put things off because they feel like, oh well, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to get with these people, and that's not necessarily the case. And like I feel like we're all guilty of that. I've been in situations where I'm like maybe prolonging things just because you're afraid of I think people are afraid of change, and I feel like starting something new is the start of a change, and you don't necessarily people don't necessarily embrace that. But do you think you're somebody who embraces change these days?
Absolutely. I feel that change is a positive thing. Whether going through it might be from something that was feeling so good or not, right? Like change regardless is something that's going to lead to growth. And I'm a very I know that I am in a journey of growing into who I am, right? Because I don't like to be like, oh, this is me and that's it. Like, no, I don't want any limits. I want to always be in the state of learning and growing. I like to think of it like I love being a student. I love being a student because I love to learn, right? And so those challenging things, can they be scary in something like this, right? Like wanting to do this video, maybe you're gonna think like it has to be this particular way, but maybe that's out of your current access, right? But don't let that stop you, because there's things that are in your current access. So I know someone who does videos, right? I'm gonna hit them up. And in that case, thank you. Oh my gosh, shout out Nikita Verma. Mwah.
Shout out
Shout
Nikita.
out to that. And I also know that I have this USB microphone and I have my voice. So let me use things in my access, right? So yeah, I mean, a little background on that video, like literally my mom has these backdrop clips, like this setup. We took that and I used a white blanket as my background because we didn't have a white backdrop at the time. So I set that up. We got 2 lights, different colors set, and I brought my mic out. Sometimes I used it, sometimes I put it to the side depending on on the shot. And that was that. And we made it very accessible to what I have in my what's available to me, right? Thank you, and thank you.
The video looked really good.
Thank you.
You wouldn't think that it was such a simple production. It cost nothing.
Right.
And literally, it was a great looking video.
Thanks.
You sounded great singing the song, so
yes,
I liked it.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate the creativity
behind
the whole video. Just you had the drapes. You didn't. That's what it's all about.
Right.
You gotta. There's one way to look at it. A lot of people say fake it until you make it. And that's something that you got to do too. You got to just, do what you got to do. You might not have all the resources, but you make do with what you have, and
exactly.
You make it look good.
Thank you. I'm so glad, and I'm very proud of it. I love watching it, and it's so funny because, wow, how did I not mention this? Yeah, but I'm a music teacher and a vocal coach, and I think I mentioned that. Yeah. Anyway, I showed this to some of my students because I want to inspire the youth. So I went up to maybe a minute in just to show them the intro and explain this to them because that's the future, right? And so I take that opportunity to inspire them. But it's to teach you that, it looks so great, and I'm so proud of that. but it was very easy to do, right? And so as an example, like if there's something that you want to do, this is an easy way that you can do it, and don't hold yourself back thinking it has to be XYZ. XYZ will happen when XYZ is supposed to happen, but at least for now, you could do this, right? And it still can come out fire. So I'm glad that that got to be an example of that, and I felt very passionate about it. I listened to it, and I like am so proud of myself for the vocals. I think that I did a beautiful job, and I love my voice, so it was just great to hear it in that way. And I love Rihanna and that song in general, so like, yes. I also love that it was a cover song because I got to connect to my audience with something that a song that they know, and so they got to hear like the AML version, right? Like I get to put my artistry into it, my voice into it, and they could hear like, oh wow, so that's the way that it looks, that's the way that it sounds. Like I got to show that part of that, so yeah, very proud of that.
So when are we getting the AML album?
Talk about it. Let's go there.
You know, the streets need it. The streets need
Yes.
it. So like,
shout out to my AML tribe because I know that they're patiently waiting. Yeah. So songwriting has always.
I'm part of the tribe too.
Yeah.
I need it too. Like,
Hey,
you're like, I want to hear it.
Period. Energy. I love that. Thank you, because that is very, very reassuring, and it just reminds me, like, yes, there's a greater reason for me doing that. Like I said, singing is my baby, and it is my most vulnerable. Songwriting as well. I've been songwriting since I was a little girl. What was I writing about? Who knows what? But now, like, as I got to college and into my more adult self, right? Like, real stuff happens, real life. I get to put my heart into it, and singing and writing especially has always been like a diary for me. It's been a way for me to express myself through songwriting, right, through lyrics, through its poetry, right, melodically, that maybe I couldn't always do in regular conversation at the time, right? So it allowed me to use my voice in a different way. With that being said, that is very vulnerable. Now, that's not holding me back, but I can say that AML originals are currently in the works, so they are happening. Stay tuned, be patient with me because it is a journey and I am a human, and I'm also understanding that this is not something that I want to rush, right? So
no, not at all.
I want to put my heart into it.
Take your time
I want to.
with your process.
Thank you.
Do whatever you have to do
Yeah.
to make sure you put out the best product, because
For sure.
You're in the best position that you could be in right now, because like you was talking about Rihanna, how you're waiting for her to put out an album, as is everybody. You're in a position where you're not Rihanna, so nobody's waiting, like nobody's like pressing you to put out this album. You're in a position where you could create what you want to create and do it, and like that'll be the first like organic thing that people hear from you.
Yeah.
And it's not like you had pressure to do X, Y, Z, and you had to add this, and like you had to meet a deadline. You don't have any of that. It can be as long as you want. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're in a perfect position, so definitely don't rush your process. Like, do exactly what you need to do.
Thank you.
Kill it. I can't wait to hear some music from you, because the covers are great.
Oh my gosh.
You sound good. You have a great voice. And I know the full package, once you put out music and then we have videos, the dancing. Like, I'm waiting, man. Like, I'm waiting.
Yeah, literally stay tuned because it is happening. It's in the process of happening. It's right there. Definitely, taking my time, but with balance of still, like, I understand that this is something, like, I can, in being vulnerable, share that, like, that has been something challenging for me because I always felt like I had to do everything myself. When I write and songwrite, typically, like, this is where I say, like, sometimes I feel like I'm a vessel because, like, it's just, like, I could be driving in my car and out of nowhere, like, some lyrics and melodies just pop out in my brain. And then, boom, I got a whole song that I just wrote on my drive back home from work, right? Like, something like that. And, like, it's crazy doing it that way because I have millions of those, like millions of those.
Right.
But they don't have the music per se. So right now, like, or not right now, but right now, like, in my past couple of months, I've been doing more of like reaching out to people who can now assist me in bringing these songs to life, as well as exploring other songs, right? And meeting people who are instrumentalists, right? Guitarists, drummers, etc. And I'm really just like honing in on bringing these to life. So it is happening. Stick with me. I'm so glad that you are part of my journey, and I also agree with what you said before. I think it's really cool that I'm in a place where I could just explore. Like,
Exactly.
there's no limits, and I love that I can show my versatility in that way and connect to more of my audience in that way, because now they get to see, oh, she does that, she does that.
Right.
Like, that's what's up. Maybe they resonate with me from this thing. Maybe they resonate for that, right? And yeah, so I'm really excited. AML coming to you soon.
If you need a rap verse, let me know.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
really now?
I'm fake retired.
Yeah.
I had a whole musical journey of my own.
That song
but
is just blessing us.
oh yeah, that's,
in and out
the sun,
right now.
The sun feels good.
I love
Feels
it.
good. So do you consider?
Shout out to you for the rapping. That's what's
Oh
up.
yeah, of course. I'm retired. I'm washed, maybe, as the kids say.
When
but
you have a passion for something, it's there for a reason.
I'll give you a hot 16 though. Once you start that album, hit me up. I got a hot 16 for you.
Heard
but
you.
do you consider? So would you consider music a hobby, or do you have other hobbies, like, as well as? Obviously, you take it seriously, not trying to downplay it.
Yeah.
But, like, would you also consider it your hobby, or would you consider this like something separate from your actual hobbies?
Well, first, I would say it definitely started as a hobby, and it still is in a way. Like, if I'm just in a spontaneous place, and like, let's say, for example, if it was a karaoke, right? Bring it back to karaoke. Like, I will hop on that mic and just start singing for the fun, right? Or if I'm at my friend's house and we're all just hanging out and we're playing an album and we'll just start singing and harmonizing, and like, that's fun. That's for fun, right? Like,
Right.
It is for the fun of it. Like, whether it's for like the artistry version, right, AML, or if it's like Amanda having fun with her friends, like, it's for the fun of it. So I would say that it is one of my hobbies. It definitely started off as a hobby, but it also has taken that bridge over to being something that I'm doing as a service in a sorts, right? Like, to my community, to my tribe, to whoever I can reach in that regard. Like, so it's got a bit of both there in terms of that.
Do you have anything else that you do on your free time? I guess your hobby time. Your space where you could, like, oh yeah, I can do this thing that I like to do now.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything else to do right now.
Right. Oh my gosh. Well, so that right there, like, I'm always just like, I will admit, like, a workaholic of a sorts, and I'm finding the healthy balance for myself. But I love to always be in motion. That's why I say that. I like to be in motion. Like, I'm a go-getter. I got that, like, drive, and I'm like, well, I got all this in me. Like, I want to do something with it, right? So, but those moments of, like, sitting down and taking time for you are very important, for sure. I would say, like, a hobby of mine, if you count this as one, would be I love reading. I really love me a book, and all different types of book. I did mention this as when I feel at my best. Like, I love reading, like, self-help books and, like, books that are motivational. And
what's the last book you read? No, what's the last book?
The last book I read.
What's the last book you finished?
The Power of Now. Oh, who's it by? My memory is one thing I would admit. I'm working on it.
The Power of Now.
The Power of Now.
Y'all know who wrote that.
Look it up. Look it up on Google. Like, it's like something with an E. I forget it. I don't want to say it wrong. But so, anyway, The Power of Now.
What did that do for you when you like
that
read
book?
That?
was like super powerful for me, literally power of now. I feel like it's what taught me like of this new version of peace that I have, of like just literally trusting in the power of now, like bringing yourself back to this moment. Us as human beings, like we can be our worst enemy, and we get so in our heads and we just like cloud ourselves with judgment and just like all of this like self-talk that might not always be the positive, right? So like the power of now is just about like reprogramming your mind and just bringing yourself back to this present moment of being a human, of what is our true purpose of being here, and like just trusting in the moment, like the now.
Right.
And it could be so simple as that. And that's what that book really taught me, is like how as humans we so overcomplicate that, when literally it can be. And I feel at peace because I'm in this present moment, and I get to connect back to gratitude because I get to be in this moment, right? So that's a super short summary of like what the book was, but
Right.
It was very powerful for me, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So is that your only hobby, or is that your main hobby that like you're gonna do?
Well, yeah, so I do love reading self-help books as well as fiction, all that. What else do I like to do? Oh my gosh, it's so hard because everything I do is really music. like
That's fine.
well, I like to listen
Yeah.
to music on my spare time. I like listening to, here's a good one, affirmation podcast. They're, oh my gosh, my memory is so shot right now, but I like to listen to affirmation podcasts. I will also listen to like music podcasts. Like I said, podcasts about like self-help and like why is this, why is that, like all of that stuff. I do that. I mean, I love fashion. I don't do this all the time, but I love going in the mall just for fun, looking around. Like if I buy stuff, like, yeah, I love fashion, stuff like that.
Right.
I love just hanging out with my friends. Like that's really like if I have the time, like things are slowed down, like I love to go hang out with my friends, and like we're just like goofballs, and I like just like being free and silly and goofy and whatever the moments present itself. I love talking, so we will get into like some real deep conversations, and we've grown so much through those happening. I love like one new thing, like getting my nails done. I didn't always used to get them done, but I love it, like trying new styles and designs and stuff. TikTok dances, like I don't do them all the time, but like it's always a fun way of expression that like, yes, like I'm a dancer, but like it's fun, like it's different. It's not like your typical choreography. Yeah, well, I love going to the beach, relaxing at the beach.
Self-care.
Self-care,
Like-
yeah, self-care.
Like you just said, like
huge.
you like getting your nails done now. So
Yeah.
how much time, I'd say, per week, I guess, do you dedicate to self-care and just like because obviously we all have busy lives and we all do a lot of things, and we're all like doing things for other people essentially. Like you're going to work, for other people essentially, and you got to do this and you got to do that. But the self-care aspect, which is important, like how often do you, treat yourself or take care of yourself throughout the week?
Yeah,
That's important.
it's definitely important. And I don't have like a time per se, but that is definitely something that I could put more effort towards, is like setting a time for it. Like I said, I love just being active all the time, but like, yeah, I do have to find my times where I just like, especially like at the night, like I like to take my time at the nighttime before I go to sleep, and before that, right, like to just like mellow down. A hobby, here we go, could be like, I don't watch TV all the time because I'm always very active, but like I like to sit down and watch TV with my parents. Like we'll just take the night and like I'll relax on the couch, we'll watch TV. This Is Us is a show we watch together. Outlander, another one, both incredible shows. I'll just like sit down at the couch, relax with them. I like to do, which I don't do often and I should do more, but like I love those times where I like just give myself a nice like face mask and I'm just like sitting there, or like I said, listening to a podcast or reading a book. Like I love having that like me time. One thing I want to get more into is yoga. I've tried it a couple times and it has felt amazing. And it's funny because like anytime I go, like most recently I went to one with one of my friends, Michael Jernick, shout out to you.
Shout out.
Yes. He brought me to a hot yoga class, and I've never done hot yoga, so I definitely was like, whew, okay, Amanda, like I had to talk myself through, like breathing through it. That's like,
You know where you should go?
Yeah.
You know where you should go? Have you ever been to the island spa?
no.
Go to the island spa.
Okay.
Well, me personally, I've never done yoga.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a, I like to stretch, I like to meditate.
Exactly.
Sometimes. But
Meditation.
the island spa, right? They have they have like cold rooms and they have hot rooms. Like
Okay,
a sauna.
yeah.
It's more than a sauna. It's like a hot room. Like the temperature in the room is like 120 degrees. I don't know, something crazy. Maybe not 100, don't quote me on that. But it's really hot is my point. And I feel like there's a level of relaxation when you go there. It's a spa. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the
Please
like the
do.
I'm gonna send you the link.
Yeah.
You should definitely go there. Like it's a cool place to go to relax.
Yeah.
I think you could refresh, like recharge, like
Thank you.
you know, maybe go with your friends. That would be a nice
Yeah.
place to go to.
And now that you say that, actually, I did go to the spa called King Spa, and it's like that. They have like a bunch of different hot rooms that you can like go into,
Right.
and it was a very like grounding experience. Like I was just like in the room, like just connecting to my breath, just like zenning, right, and just like being relaxed, getting out of my thoughts, and just again practicing the power of now. Okay, that would be something that yes, I do, and I want to do more of. Taking those moments of just like literally just like zen, connecting back to your like inner peace. And yeah, so but yoga is one thing I definitely want to do more of. A hobby, I guess, could be working out, right? I love working out. When things get a little busy, sometimes like I don't typically like go to the gym workout, but I love going to the gym and working out. And when I get into my like swing and I'm consistent, like I just love that power of it. It empowers me. Like I feel stronger, physically stronger, mentally stronger.
How long is your run typically? Your workout run? Because
like what do you mean?
Like because everybody has like I call it a run when you like you're going to the gym consistently for a little while and then you stop.
Yeah.
Like so, how long is your run typically? Like a couple weeks or?
No, I would say I would go at it for like months.
Okay.
And then, life kicks in and we're human and then I kind of fall off a little bit. But hey, technically, like I am still active in other ways, whether it's dancing or walking my dog. Like
dancing alone.
Yeah,
I feel
it's a
like
workout.
You're probably in great shape, just the amount of dancing that you
For
do.
sure.
Do you dance every day? Like, do you like?
I try to. I definitely want to. That's something funny you say that I want to like challenge myself like to do is just like even if it's 10 minutes of a freestyle just for fun. But I would say that I dance almost every day. Like sometimes just listen to music, right? Freestyling, or maybe if I have a rehearsal, or even if I go out with my friends. Like we talk about this all the time. Like there's something with our generation. Like people are scared to dance. And like even in the clubs, like everyone just be standing there, and I'm the type that I will go out with my friends and I don't care. Like I'll break out in a freestyle. I'll just start dancing to the music, and maybe that's my dad in me because he says that a lot too. He's like, back in my days, we would be like break dancing. We would have like dance battles, this and that. I'm like, oh really? Like, man, where is that? These days, or maybe you have to go a specific, what would it be like? A specific space for that. But anyway, like I definitely would like bust it down. So I love to dance every day, and I definitely think that that's something that keeps me very physically fit because it's very physically demanding.
It
like
is.
You have to, and especially like if you're going all out, or like if you're doing a routine and you're rehearsing something, a certain section, you're doing it a couple times, right? Like it takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of that physical aspects. So yeah, I would say as I sit here and I'm there, I'm like, hey. But yeah, like definitely dance keeps me in shape, in good shape.
Right. Yeah.
The gym. I love
important.
the gym. I love working out. I love like I love working out with friends too. Like I would think it's so fun because you get to cheer each other on, like hold each other accountable.
That's a big thing, man. I can't.
Yeah.
it's, you know, I can go to the gym by myself, but it's way easier to go with somebody because then you gotta sort of keep up with each other, and it pushes you to go harder. So
and
definitely.
you get to cheer each other on, like
Definitely.
and be an example too, right? Like
is that a big
like
thing in dance culture? Do you like cheer? I guess cheering each other on and like, you know, hyping each other up. Is that like a big thing when you're dancing? Because I guess it is such a vulnerable thing.
Right.
And you want everybody to feel good, or everybody to have like a positive sort of experience.
Yeah, I can say with the experiences that I've had, at least with dance, yes, like that's been something that has been in the room. I've been so grateful to stumble upon, right, shout out to this journey and manifestation, a select group of people that I have more regularly danced with. And so they've always set that scene of like, this is a safe space to express yourself and move and create. And even in times where I was a little nervous or shy, because they set that tone and they use themselves as an example, and I got to like vibe off of that energy. It like helped me and feel that in myself, right? So I can say that in terms of my personal experiences in dance, yes. Now, is that always the case? I think that's something we have to teach each other more of, is to understand that this is not a competition. Like, you're out here dancing and so am I, and that's so cool. Like, shout out to us, like, for connecting to our passion, right? And so I think that's something we need to maybe teach each other more of. But yeah, I would say, at least in my experiences so far, so good. Fingers crossed that it remains that way, and at least that I could be an example now to be that and set that tone too, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this. One gotta go.
Okay.
Dancing, singing, or reading?
My jaw dropped. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love them all, but like, I guess reading will take the L, because like sometimes I'll get into my times where I don't read, but like I like to read every day. Like, I've had a lot of like that. When I'm reading every day, like even if it's 10 minutes, like it feels so good. Like, it feels so good to be like, wow, I committed even those 10 minutes to reading X amount of pages of this book, especially with self-help books. Like, it keeps me on check. It checks me, my mental, my why am I doing this? Like, it just always grounds me. So, but I love dancing and I love singing and expressing myself. Like, I literally can't imagine that not being a part of my life. Mm-hmm. So I guess in that case, if I had to say one, it would be reading.
Okay. Yeah.
With a tear on my eye, like.
I would have said that for you.
Yeah.
I would have been like, yeah, get reading out of here, because the other two, you can't stop doing the other two. So we need you on the other two. The reading, we don't need you.
Thank you.
We don't need you over there. There's enough people.
You will be surprised though. Like I said, the way it keeps my mental right, like, hey, because of that, I'm able to be this person for you guys, right?
Right.
Because of that, I get to be this person. But it is through my singing and my dancing that I am really stepping into, like, outwardly being this person and a service, right? Like, providing a service, like giving to you guys. So, yeah, reading.
So scratch that. We need the books. Bring them back.
We need them all. We need them all.
Shout out to everybody that reads.
Yeah, shout out to the readers. Please, people need to read more. Like, just do it. Even if it's 5-10 minutes, like, just set that 10 minutes a day and do it. Like, you don't have to read the whole book in one shot. Like, just start to get yourself in the swing, and it's so beautiful the way it opens your mind. Read.
I have a lot of beautiful books that I have not fully read. So,
do you have any that you could recommend?
I have one book that I haven't read really, but
You've heard it's good?
I could like send you the book. I forgot the name off the top of the head.
Okay.
I know exactly how it looks. It's sitting there.
It'd be like that.
It's probably dusty, but it looks like it's a good book, you know? So somebody's gonna read it, I'm sure.
I got one for you.
Oh, you have one for me?
And for the
What's
people.
that?
I got one. I like swear by this book. It's called You Are a Badass, and it's the yellow cover version by Jen Sincero. I Love that book. That was a book that I read like 10 minutes a day type of a thing
Right.
because it's one of those that you're learning as you go. So I take 10 minutes because it helps me to like process what I read. It feels more realistic. It doesn't make me put any pressure on myself, like I have to read a chapter or I have to read this amount of pages or this whole book, right? I get to take my time with really processing the information it taught me, and it's very conversational in the style of writing, so it was an easy read, but it taught me a lot about like subconscious, conscious minds, about connecting to source, right? God, source energy, the universe, whatever you want to call it, like connecting to that and the power of that. Like it just taught me a lot, and I really love that book, so I always recommend it. So check out The Power of Now.
Okay.
Such a good read.
Maybe I might break my
Yes,
rule of
finish the
not
book.
reading.
Come on, man. You
No, I'm
gotta
playing.
finish the book.
And I'll do
Imagine
it.
how good you're gonna feel.
For you, I'll do
Yes, I hope I inspired
For
that for
AML?
you.
it. I'll do it.
Anything for you.
No, so in closing, who can not speak to you? What type of energies do you not want around you?
Well, definitely like protect my peace. I love positive energy just right off the bat. What do I not like? I guess just like, yeah, if you're bringing negative energy or you're like a Debbie Downer or energy drainer or like, I'm like very chill, go with the flow, positive, happy, giddy. So like if it's someone who's like bully energy, like, nah, I don't do that. Like, just, or like, I don't want to use the word hater energy, but like, come on, we're all humans, we're here for love. Like, so any of that, like, I don't really like anything that's gonna disturb my peace or my energy or like, yeah, I guess that's what I would say for that. Just like good vibes, good energy. Oh, we love that. Like, don't get me wrong, I know we're human. Let me give you this good energy though, right? If you're like resistant, like no, whatever, like, or challenging, like, I don't like that. Like, I'm not here for that, I guess.
Let me give you a little gem, but
Yeah.
as far as
Hidden gems.
you know, of course, as far as you said, like hater energy, just one thing you should always discern is when you have good news and you tell people the good news,
Right.
just watch or pay attention to the first response that people give you. Like if you're sitting here right now and you tell me some good news that you just found out, you got to pay attention to the first thing that I respond to you with.
Yeah.
I feel like that tells you
That's true.
a lot of how people might feel. And you know, you have to read between the lines.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things or certain ways people might say things that,
Yeah.
you know, because I'll tell you, everybody isn't necessarily happy just because you're happy. And it could be
Yeah.
people that you care about, but
Yeah.
if you have good news, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for them or they feel good about it, because you know, either consciously or subconsciously, a lot of people can be jealous, you know, and that's just what it comes down to. And it's not even necessarily jealousy of like they envy you or they want to be you. It's more so, you know, some people are just not happy with, like, you might have did something positive for yourself, and they're frustrated with themselves because like, why didn't I do that, or why can't I do that? And you know, nobody's limit. We can all do the same things. We all have the same amount of time. We all have the same, you know, space that we're occupying. We're like literally me and you right here, just humans. We're just vessels, like having a human experience.
That part.
Like everybody has the same ability.
Yeah.
So like, you know, jealousy just isn't a good thing, but
Yeah.
definitely pay attention to how people respond to certain things. And that doesn't mean, you know, if you feel like somebody responds to you negatively, you should like act on it, or like, oh, why'd you say that? Or you don't have to, just pay attention is what I'm saying. Just be aware, because you know, as you go on and do great things in life, no matter what it will be, just You know,
That's
whether
just
it's called
reality.
for or not, that's the reality. Like, we're all humans and we all feel some type of way.
Right,
Like,
we're imperfect beings.
even you, and, you know, even for yourself, like, you know, you might not feel like you hate anybody. You might just feel like you give positive energy, but, you know, to somebody else, they feel as though like you give them the energy that they feel like you're hating on them, or whatever the case is. Like, you don't know how people
It's all
perceive certain things.
interpretation.
Of course. And you know,
Yeah.
you just have to, I would just say, be aware of just people.
Yeah.
And just be self-aware of yourself, and like how
Yeah.
certain things, and just think about how certain things make you feel. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever stop and like, I don't know, just reflect on maybe certain conversations that you have with people, and just like, you know, they said this and they said that. Like, how does that make me feel? Like,
Right.
you know, I just think you always have to do that. Just always
Yeah.
come back to a middle ground and just like reevaluate, like, or just evaluate,
Yeah.
you know, certain
Why did
situations.
I react that way, or like why might they have reacted that way? Yeah, I definitely, you pinned something great there. I think that's been something that, especially now, I'm more like practicing reminding myself, because I feel like I've always been, and don't get me wrong, again, I'm human, like I'm not always positive and bubbly, like I'm a human being, and so there's all types of emotions, right? But like I feel like typically I have always moved in that light. And yeah, there have been moments in my life where I've been challenged in that regard, or maybe people misconceive that, right? Or maybe like exactly they're working through something within themselves, and so the energy they give off is something like right off, let's just say, right?
You don't know what anybody's going through
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis.
And
so,
that part, like,
yeah.
I think that's been something that, like, even if I've been like, man, like, because, you know, like, let's just say for support, right? If I'm like, man, like, I'm doing this and this person's not really supportive, or like, you know, that's just an example. Or like, oh man, like, they haven't really reached out recently, like, what's going on? Like, you know, I always remind myself, like, whatever the way that people are, like, their actions are not in your control. That's totally them. So like, if, for example, we talked about before, someone's giving me an off energy, or let's just say, to talk about it, the jealousy, or like something like that, like, I always remind myself that like that's a reflection of the people and what they're going through. Like, if I feel like I'm being genuine and I'm being loving and I'm just grounding myself in that, like, I can't let that affect me, because that has nothing to do with me. You feel me? So like, it's like that's something that they're working through within themselves, and I give grace to that. I feel like I'm like I said, I'm empathetic. Like I think I'm very understanding of that. Even at times where it has hurt me, I've been understanding to know, like, I take that step back and I'm reflective of the situation, or like what had happened, or maybe something of my actions that might have triggered that, or etc. You feel me? Like, I take that moment, and yeah, I definitely am like, okay, this might have been why, like, to try to understand the person, and then to like understand myself, and just to grow in those moments, right? So I definitely feel like that's something that's helped me protect my peace, is understanding that like the way that people act is a reflection of themselves. Like, it has nothing to do with me. So why am I gonna sweat it and let it affect my energy and like my work or whatever?
Exactly.
Like, I just gotta keep doing what I'm doing,
The main
and
thing, you don't
go in my light.
Don't let it change your energy, or don't let
Right.
it change
My path, or
yeah, you have to just keep on doing what you're doing. Like,
Right.
you know, how people are going to react to what you're doing
Yeah.
is natural. That's
Yeah.
human nature. People are going to react, you know,
Yeah.
whether positive or negative. So you just got to keep on doing what you're doing, and don't, you know, lose your path.
Thank you.
Basically.
I definitely appreciate like something like this where I get to share my heart, and like, because people will see what you do, but it's not everyone that I talk to on social media sees the real like me in person, right? So I just love like when I get to meet people and be like, this is me, like this is my heart, like I do all these things and I'm this face, but like I'm silly, I'm goofy, I'm friendly, I'm social, like let me inspire you to be a better version of yourself too. Like, this doesn't have to be a competition. Like, we're all humans. This is love. Like, I want to move in a way that what I'm doing is inspiring you to follow in that path and try in your own way, and whatever that is that you feel like is your thing. So yeah, thank you for this opportunity to just like share my heart, share my humanness, and be here with you today on this beautiful day. I'm like on and off with the sunglasses. It's so sunny.
Definitely. No,
But look at that. We are blessed.
I appreciate you for, you know, gracing me as my first guest with, you know, your beauty, your charisma.
Thank you.
Grace, flair, just overall talent, just bursting through. Like, you know, you have a beautiful soul.
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate you. Keep doing everything that you're doing. You know, I'm gonna be paying attention, definitely supporting.
Yes.
You know, and
Welcome.
you know, if you wanna come back anytime, you know, you
Yes,
drop
I
something
love
else, and then we could rap
you
about
know
that.
it.
You know,
You know
read
it.
a new book, we can rap about that.
Yes, I'm all about that. I love that. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that that's what you received from me being here with you. And I'm glad I could be your first guest at this space. We've got these good vibes we got going here. I will definitely be coming back to you with some news, so stay tuned for sure. And welcome to the AML tribe.
Oh,
Welcome to the AML tribe.
the AML tribe. Let's cut
Yes.
this clip.
Yes.
All right.
Feel
That was
good? Thank you so much.
That was good.
I'm glad I got to be here.